All right. Now, this story is about a young woman, I like to say a young lady, her transition from living in Jamaica to living and working in Japan. We welcome Sandie Heron, author of Journey into the Unknown, to share more with us. Good morning, Sandie.
Morning.
You look absolutely amazing, like no COVID is keeping.
Not in my apartment, no.
All right, let's talk about it. It must have been an awesome journey. And you know, what prompted you to write this book, Journey into the Unknown?
Okay, what prompted me to write it? Before I left Jamaica, I went to a prophetic seminar in Jamaica at Fellowship Tabernacle in Kingston.
Yes.
I went to the seminar because I wanted to learn more about hearing the voice of God. So I was getting a lot of dreams, and the dreams started to disturb me because some of the things that I was dreaming, they started to manifest. And so I wanted to understand better, okay, if I'm having dreams, is it really God who is speaking to me? And how can I interpret it? So I went to the prophetic seminar, and while we were praying, there is someone who was there. Her name is Trisha. And while she was praying for me, she said, Sandie, the Lord says that there is a book that you need to write. And I had thought about writing before because I absolutely love writing. It's one of my passions.
Mm-hmm.
At the time when I got home, I said, okay, God, there is a book that you want me to write, but what will I write about? And so that week, I got an inspiration that I should write about what was happening in my life at that time. And what was happening is that there were a lot of transitions that were going on. I was working at a law firm in Kingston, and I just got this sensing that it was time for me to leave my job. And
just like that.
Huh?
Just like that.
Just like that. I was working as a paralegal in Kingston for 5 years.
Yes.
And I just had this feeling as if my time in that place was home. But there was just like a resistance, or there was this struggle between me wanting to advance in the legal career because I was a paralegal and I thought about studying law to get more qualified. And then on the other hand, there were these other things that I love to do. I love to share people's stories and everything. And so I struggled because I wondered, the gifts and the talents that I have, how can I transition that into a career? You know, what can I do with that?
Yes.
And I started writing the book about everything that was going on in my life at the time. And I sent the book back to Trisha because she said to me, Sandie, the Lord says that I should help you to birth this book.
Keep going, I'm listening. It's very interesting.
Okay, and so I sent it back to her. And when I sent it back to her, Trisha said to me, she said, Sandie, the book is not complete. You need to include the lessons that you have learned. What that you would like the readers to take away from everything that you're sharing. And I said to her at the time, after that, about a month later, I moved to Japan. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe when I get to Japan, I will continue. But then I moved to Japan, and it was such a surprise. I thought I was coming to Japan to live my best life.
So what did you experience upon reaching Japan?
Okay, so I packed everything from home into two suitcases. And I said, yes, I'm coming to foreign now, my boss.
Yes. So at this point, having gotten to Japan, how did you continue to contribute to the manuscript before actually you completed that?
And that's a very, very good question. My answer, absolutely nothing happened.
Oh, Lord, yes. Tell us about that.
Nothing happened. I moved to live in a small town in the Tohoku region that's in northern Japan. And I went to live in a small town called Kakuda. And I was the only Black woman who was in the town.
Oh, Lord.
In Japanese, the only thing I knew how to say was, konnichiwa.
Sandie, can you tell us what's the difference between living in Japan and your culture shock, living here and living in Japan?
first thing is that the language is different.
Yes.
So I had the task of learning a different language. And I mean, when I went to the grocery store, like people were just staring at me. I would walk down the aisle and kids would just look at me as if I was an alien, like, I was from space. And so that was a totally different experience because, I mean, back home I blend in, right? You walk on the road and people are staring at you. And so that was very different for me.
Right. And so this kind of experience now gave you more information as to the way forward in terms of continuing the storyline.
Right. And so for a year, nothing happened. I just adjust to the new culture, to learn about the people, to learn the language. And then it's only this year I started praying to God. I said, God, revive me, because I had not been doing anything. I said, God, revive me, refresh me, give me fresh direction. And it just came back to me. Sandie, remember that there was a book that you had started writing. And when I looked back on my journey from moving to Jamaica and then being here in Japan, I realized that there was so much that I had learned.
Yes.
And what was asking me for in Jamaica was wrapped up in the experience that I had while I thought I was doing nothing.
So go ahead.
You have no regrets walking away from law?
No, I have absolutely no regrets. And even being here, it's night for me now, morning for you, and being on this interview, I know that I am divinely aligned, and I know that God's purpose is manifesting in my life. So there is absolutely no regrets.
And so, Sandie, it was then important for you to make this transition from Jamaica to Japan, to get to that realization, to now cement the way forward, to now continue and complete the book.
It sounded like a preacher. You're sure you're in the right career, you're preaching to me.
Oh boy.
Knocking the nail on the head, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And I give God thanks for it, because in my first year and a half being in Japan, I cried. I sunk so deeply into depression. There was so much anxiety, and there were times when I questioned God. I'm like, I gave all of these things up to move in the direction that you led me to. But then now that I'm here and I feel a little bit lost. But then I realize that sometimes from that, it's in that period of what we think is our breaking that God is able to birth something new in our lives.
Yes.
And I just never realized that.
Sandie, your book, Into the Know, tell us the one thing that you'd like the public to take away from this book.
Yes, what I'd like them to take away is that if there's a passion that God placed in your heart, that it's worth following. And even though you may not see the entire staircase, it is okay for you to take that one step of faith in God, and that we can absolutely trust Him.
Right. So the book is a testament to your own experiences, the lessons you've learned along the way, and you were able to put that together to encourage other people to follow their own path and learn the lessons that they, in every experience. And there will always be your own spiritual guide and teachers who will just come and give us that nudge to continue the walk. Am I correct?
Yes, you are absolutely correct. You're missing nothing. You're getting it right.
Yes. And where do we find the book? Where can we get a copy of it?
Okay. Well, it's going to be published on August 1st, and it will be on Amazon, Amazon US, Amazon UK, and Amazon Japan. And I'll also have copies in New York Pharmacy, and I'm trying to get copies in other bookstores and pharmacies as well.
Thank you so much, Sandie, for sharing your journey. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you will continue to write and inspire and, allow those persons who are still trying to find themselves to eventually start the walk. Thank you so much. All the best. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem at all.